It is fantastic to have you with us. We spend days just sifting through mountains of data to find the gold for you.
That is the standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
We do the heavy lifting so you don't have to navigate the labyrinth alone.
Exactly. The Sacred Play podcast is a production of the Church of Sacred Play. Come in.
Come in.
Bring your wonder.
The Church of Sacred Play is a humanist community that uses story, play, and a little stardust thinking to inoculate you against cynicism.
Story, play, and a little stardust thinking. The Sacred Play podcast is our way of bringing those fresh ideas and radical kindness to you.
Yeah. Radical
kindness. To practice compassion, sharpen critical thinking, and build a kinder world together. You're getting a podcast that challenges you to engage with the world.
Exactly.
Not just as entertainment to pass the time during a commute, but as sustenance.
A vitamin for your humanity.
No supernatural claims required. Just curiosity, dignity, and the courage to care out loud.
The courage to care out loud. So come on in and bring your wonder. The Sacred Play podcast, the Church of Sacred Play.
thechurchofsacredplay.com.
I want you to do something for me right now. It might feel a little uncomfortable, but just stay with me for a second. I want you to mentally scan your last 48 hours. Not the highlights, not the stuff you'd post online, but the actual texture of your minutes and hours, the commute, the waiting, the work.
If you had to boil that feeling down to just say 3 words, be honest. Would those words be something like tasks, tension, and shoulds?
Oof. Wow. Starting with the heavy hitters today.
Yeah.
That hits a little too close to home.
I mean, think about it. It's the, I should go to the gym, I should reply to that email, I should feel grateful. I was reading through the stack for today's deep dive, and it just hit me. I honestly couldn't remember the last time I felt a moment of pure, unforced delight.
Yes.
Just enjoying something because it exists, not because I ticked it off the list or because it was productive. It's the modern condition, isn't it? We've become exceptionally efficient at surviving, managing the logistics of being alive, but we've arguably lost the knack for actually, living. We treat our lives like a business to be managed, not an experience to be had.
Well, today we are going to try and fix that. We're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating and frankly, kind of surprising set of materials. It's a manifesto titled The Art of Coming Alive, and it comes from the Church of Sacred Play.
And before anyone, hits the pause button or checks if they downloaded the wrong show, we need to address the elephant in the room immediately.
Oh, yeah.
The names Church and Sacred.
Yeah, I have to admit, I saw the word church and my guard went right up. I thought, okay, are we about to get preached at? Is this a theology lesson? Did we accidentally pivot to a religion podcast?
It's a completely fair reaction. But we need to clarify this right up front. This isn't about religion, at least not in the way we usually use that word. The source material is actually very explicit about this. They have a glossary where they redefine these terms specifically for their work on mental health.
Okay, so if they aren't talking about deities or dogmas, what does sacred even mean in this context? Because words matter, right?
They do. And they define sacred strictly through a lens of attention and value. So to them, sacred means important enough to protect, important enough to return to, and important enough to practice.
Important enough to protect. I really like that shift. It takes the word out of the sky and puts it right into your daily schedule.
Exactly. And when they pair sacred with play, they aren't talking about board games or, organized sports. They're suggesting that the act of experiencing joy, wonder, and aliveness, that it's a discipline. It's something you have to actively protect because the default setting of modern adult life will absolutely crush it out of you if you let it.
So the mission of this deep dive isn't to convert anyone to a belief system. It's to explore a psychological and a biological argument. The argument that treating joy as a daily discipline, rather than a prize you only get once you've suffered enough, can actually fundamentally change how your nervous system functions.
That is the core of it. This is about biology just as much as it is about philosophy. It's about how your body processes the world.
Okay, so let's get into the mechanics of this. The concept is sacred play. Now, usually when I hear play in the context of adults, I think of, escape, reckless behavior.
Right, the blow-off steam model.
Yeah, going to Vegas or skydiving or getting wasted on a Friday night. I worked hard, so now I get to go crazy.
And the source corrects that misconception immediately. They're very clear. Play is not reckless thrill-seeking, and it's not performing for an audience. They define it as the gentle art of coming alive on purpose.
Coming alive on purpose, that's a very different vibe than blowing off steam.
It's a crucial distinction, and they emphasize this play has to be safe and kind. It's about restoring your humanity, not risking your safety. But what I found most compelling here is the why. Why do we need to practice this? Why doesn't it just happen?
This is where the nervous system stuff comes in, right? I found this part fascinating because it explains why I feel so tired all the time, even when I haven't done anything, strenuous.
It's the survival mode trap. The source explains that when life trains us to live in constant tension worrying about bills, the news, our reputation, our world physically and cognitively shrinks.
Shrinks how? Like my perspective shrinks.
Think about it evolutionarily. If you're a hunter-gatherer and you hear a twig snap in the bushes, your nervous system floods with cortisol and adrenaline.
Okay, right.
You enter a high alert state. In that state, you should not be admiring the sunset, you should not be daydreaming about art. Your focus narrows to one thing, the threat.
So tunnel vision is a feature, not a bug. It keeps you alive.
Correct. But the problem is, in modern life, the twig snapping is an email from your boss. It's a news alert on your phone. It's a passive-aggressive text. We are stuck in that high alert, narrow focus state all day long. And the source argues that when we stay there, our thoughts become rigid. We lose access to the parts of our brain that can solve problems creatively, connect with others, and actually rest.
There's a quote in the manifesto that I highlighted because it really hit me. It says, "I will not let fear be the only weather in my inner world."
That is such a powerful framing. The only weather.
It feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? Like even when nothing bad is happening right this second, there's just this constant overcast gray sky of mild anxiety.
A low-level hum of what if.
Exactly. And that is where the discipline comes in. The expert view here is that you can't just wait for the weather to change. You are the one who has to open a window. And the source emphasizes, and this is key for the skeptics listening, this is not about erasing pain. It's not about ignoring that taxes exist or that the world is chaotic.
It's about keeping the door open to other states of being.
So it's not saying ignore your problems and go frolic in a meadow while your house burns down.
Not at all. It's saying that even while you're dealing with the problems, you don't have to let the stress be the only thing happening in your body. You can multitask your emotional state. You can be responsible and alive. You can be grieving and still notice the light.
Okay, I buy the philosophy. I don't want fear to be my only weather. But how do we actually do this? I mean, my brain feels like it's wired to worry. How do we change the forecast? The source gives us a methodology they call the simplest liturgy.
And again, they're using liturgy here to borrow the weight of a ritual, but without the dogma. It's a simple 3-step loop to retrain the brain. Notice, delight, share.
It sounds almost too simple. Notice, delight, share. But when you break it down, it's actually kind of difficult for a busy adult. I tried it and I kept forgetting to do the middle part.
It is deceptive. Let's look at step 1. Notice. The instruction is to find one thing. Visual, auditory, a memory that contains, as they put it, even a drop of beauty.
It's just a drop. So we're not looking for the Grand Canyon or some life-changing epiphany.
Now, if you wait for the Grand Canyon, you'll be waiting years. This is about the way the light hits your coffee cup, the pattern on a rug, a color you like. It's about training that part of your brain that filters information to scan for beauty, not just for threats.
Okay, so I spot the nice light on the coffee cup. That's step 1. Step 2 is delight. And honestly, this is where I fail.
Most adults do. Because we're efficient. We see the nice thing, we categorize it, oh, pretty, and we move on. We treat beauty like data. Acknowledge next.
Right.
Nice cup, next email.
The instruction here is to stay with that thing for 5 seconds. Let it land.
5 seconds.
Count it out. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
That feels like an eternity when you're rushing to get out the door.
That's the point. The source points out that wonder is free, but attention is the cost. If you don't pay the attention, you don't get the physiological benefit. You need that duration to let the neurochemistry actually shift from alert to safe. You have to let it sink in. It's like the difference between looking at a glass of water and actually drinking it. Looking at it doesn't hydrate you.
That is a perfect analogy. You have to drink the moment. And then step 3 is share.
Now, does this mean I have to annoy my spouse every time I see a cool leaf? Honey, look at this leaf. Look at it.
No, though I'm sure they'd appreciate the enthusiasm eventually. Share can be external, sure, tell a friend, but they explicitly say that acknowledging it quietly to yourself counts as sharing.
Oh, that's good. So it's an internal check-in.
It's about solidification. When you say, yes, I see this, or that is beautiful to yourself, you are marking the moment. You're telling your brain, this matters. It stops the moment from just slipping away.
Okay, so notice, delight for 5 seconds, share. That's the framework.
Yeah.
But what I really loved about this deep dive is they didn't just leave us with a framework, they gave us a toolkit. They call them 1-minute sacred play rituals.
These are designed for the busy learner, the person who says, I don't have time to meditate for 30 minutes. These are things you can do while brushing your teeth or waiting for the microwave.
Let's run through some of these because they are honestly just fun to read. The first one is called the 5-second yes.
This connects right back to the liturgy. You pick one small sensory detail, a sip of tea, the feeling of a soft sweater, a cool breeze, and you give it a private yes.
A private yes. What does that mean?
It means you don't analyze it. You don't think, oh, this tea is good, but I really shouldn't be drinking caffeine this late. You just cut the chatter and agree with the pleasure. It's a micro-affirmation of being alive.
I tried this morning. Usually I just chug my coffee to wake up. Today, I took the first sip and just mentally said yes. It was weird how it actually stopped my brain from racing for a second.
It interrupts the autopilot. That's the goal. You're interrupting the survival script with a pleasure script. You're reminding your body that it's safe to enjoy something.
Okay, the next one is my personal favorite because I'm a bit of a science nerd. Micro wonder.
Ah, this one is great for the analytical mind. The prompt is to ask yourself, what is one thing here that is quietly amazing?
And the examples they give are fantastic. One was a tree making sugar from light.
Or your lungs exchanging oxygen without you having to manage the spreadsheet.
That is wild when you think about it. We are walking around and our bodies are performing these incredibly complex biological feats, literal alchemy, and we're just worrying about being 5 minutes late to a Zoom call.
That's the cosmic perspective the Source talks about. It shifts you from the mundane to the miraculous, even for just a moment. It pulls you out of the tunnel vision of yourself.
Now, this next one made me laugh out loud, but the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to try it. It's called character mode.
Yes, this is about introducing novelty to the nervous system. The instruction is to do a mundane chore, but do it as a character.
The examples are just gold. A wizard loading the dishwasher.
A space engineer folding laundry.
A detective searching for a missing sock.
It sounds silly, and it is, but from a cognitive standpoint, this is playful reframing. You're taking a task that usually drains you drudgery, and you're turning it into a narrative. Your brain lights up differently when you're playing a role versus just doing a chore.
I can just imagine myself folding laundry very seriously, like I'm prepping a survival kit for a Mars mission. This towel must be folded perfectly for the airlock. If it's not square, we don't survive orbit.
And even if you just chuckle at yourself because you feel ridiculous, you win. You've broken the tension loop. You've changed the weather.
That's a good point. Feeling ridiculous is actually a form of aliveness. It's better than feeling numb.
Precisely. Novelty wakes up the brain. Drudgery puts it to sleep.
Moving on. Beauty reps. It sounds like gym lingo.
It is, but for your perception, instead of a productivity list, you write down 3 tiny things. Light on a wall, a scent, a line from a song. The Source says, you're training your perception to notice what's already there.
That's the key, isn't it? The beauty's already there. We just have filters that block it out because we're so focused on tasks.
We're filtering for efficiency. We're filtering for problems to solve. This retrains the filter to look for joy, and the more you look for it, the more you see. It's the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, but for beauty.
There's one more I want to touch on because it involves the body, and for a lot of us, we live entirely in our heads. The one-song movement.
This is exactly what it says. Put on one song, move however your body wants. No choreography, no mirror, no self-judgment.
And for those of us who might feel self-conscious or maybe have physical limitations, the Source adds a really nice caveat. If movement is hard today, do it sitting. Even tapping counts.
It's about connecting with your physical self in a way that isn't demanding. It isn't exercise. It's not for burning calories. It's expression. It's letting the energy move. It's reclaiming your body as a vessel for feeling, not just a vehicle for transport.
So we have these great tools. We can be wizards. We can do micro wonders. But I have to play devil's advocate here. And honestly, I'm asking this on behalf of everyone listening who might be going through a genuinely terrible time right now.
Right. It's important we go there.
What if you aren't okay? What if you're grieving, or you just lost your job, or you're battling depression? Is telling someone to find the beauty just toxic positivity? Is this just pretending to be fine?
I'm really glad you brought this up, because if this were just think happy thoughts, I wouldn't have brought this source to the deep dive. The material is adamant about this. They explicitly state, sacred play is not pretend you're fine.
That is a relief to hear.
They acknowledge that if you're anxious, angry, grieving, or numb, you are still welcome. They don't demand positivity. They emphasize safe play and no harm. This isn't about denial.
So how do you practice sacred play when you're grieving? It feels contradictory.
They offer a not okay practice. In those states, the practice shrinks down to match your capacity. It might just be taking one slow breath. That's the play.
That's it, just breath.
Or noticing one neutral thing, like the feeling of the floor under your feet, without spiraling into a story about it. Or just letting one comforting sound exist in the room.
So it's not about forcing a smile.
No. The source has a beautiful line about this. They say, sometimes the practice is simply not abandoning yourself.
Not abandoning yourself. That feels very different from look on the bright side.
It is. It's about presence. If the present moment is painful, you don't have to dress it up, but you can stay with yourself through it. And that, in their definition, is still a form of sacred play, because you're treating your own existence as something worthy of protection.
It's also worth mentioning the context here. The Church of Sacred Play mentions being a home for a lot of different people. They list life on the spectrum, LGBTQIA+, ethical non-monogamy.
Right. It seems their community is built around people who perhaps haven't always felt safe or celebrated in traditional structures. So when they talk about safe play and no harm, it comes from a place of deep inclusivity.
It just reinforces that idea that your nervous system needs to know it's safe before it can really play. And for marginalized groups, that safety is often harder to come by.
Exactly. Which makes the discipline of creating that safety internally, even just for 5 seconds, even more critical. It's almost an act of defiance against a world that might not be kind. It's saying, I will claim my joy anyway.
So let's recap where we've been. We've covered the philosophy. Fear shouldn't be the only weather in your inner world. We've covered the method. Notice, delight, share. And we've got the toolkit.
We do.
And I think what stands out to me most is the accessibility of it. You don't need to buy gear. You don't need a retreat in Bali. You don't need to quit your job. You just need 5 seconds and a willingness to look at a tree and go, wow.
It connects back to that idea of agency. You have more control over your inner experience than you think. You can't control the world, the taxes, the emails, the news, the traffic, but you can control the aperture of your attention. You can choose to open the window, even just a crack.
The source material wraps up with what they call a gentle vow. It's an optional daily intention. I have it here. It says, today, I will make room for the whole weather of being human, and I will keep opening windows.
Room for the whole weather. That means the storms, the fog, and the sunshine, all of it is allowed.
And the commitment to keep opening windows. I think that's the takeaway for me. It's active. You have to open the window. It won't open itself. You have to invite the breeze in.
That is the discipline part of the joy. It requires just that tiny bit of effort.
So here's our challenge to you, the listener. We want you to try one of these rituals. Not tomorrow, not next week, within the next hour.
Pick one. Do the 5-second yes with your next glass of water. Or if you have dishes to do, try the wizard technique.
Seriously, try the wizard one. Even if you just feel ridiculous. That feeling of ridiculousness is a spark of life. It's better than the numbness of the daily grind.
Ask yourself, if joy is a discipline, what happens if you stop waiting for it to arrive by accident?
That is the question. What happens if you start inviting it in? Thank you for diving in with us today.
It's been a pleasure.
Go open some windows. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.
The Sacred Play podcast is a production of the Church of Sacred Play, thechurchofsacredplay.com.
You could be anywhere else listening to anything else. You gave us your time. We thank you. Stay curious.
And we'll see you in the next
Sacred Play podcast.